Well, hey there, Aquarius. It's your friend Dharma Jane here to do a monthly love spread for you. Doing a new spread just for love. It's in the shape of a heart. We've got, so this, it'll work for two sides of the relationship. So this will be for people who are together, people who have just broken up, people who are dating someone, or for singles. This is for somebody who may be coming into your future, what you can expect from this relationship. So, for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and for Aquarian cross watchers. Calling in guides, calling in angels, calling in anyone from the highest good who'd like to bring some love messages for Aquarius. First card. Spirit, please describe the heartbeat of this relationship. What is it about this relationship? To sum it up, what is this relationship? Two of Air. This relationship is a choice. It's a choice to be there. It's a choice every day to wake up and to decide to be there. But on the feminine side, who are they? Who are we looking at on the feminine side of this Aquarian relationship? Possibly a Capricorn. That's the Devil card. That's also someone who is tempted. And being paired with this, Two of Swords all the time, that's possibly tempted to leave, tempted to stay, tempted to leave, tempted to stay. Back and forth. And on the masculine side, who is this in this Aquarian relationship on the masculine side? What do we have here for the masculine energies? Patience. Her trying to hold on. Trying to hold on. But what is it that the feminine needs? What does the feminine need in this relationship? What does the feminine side of the Aquarian relationship need? A cup full of love, right? Feminine's always looking for a cup full of love. I mean that's self-explanatory. That's the Ace of Cups. That's the new wave of energy and love. So for those of you who have been together for a long time, something needs to change. Something needs to fill. I heard refilled, like it was a literal cup. It needs to fill like it's been, as of right now, it feels empty. But what does the masculine side of the Aquarian relationship need? Seven of Fire. Seven of Wands talks about normally I would say it talks about being defensive, but I'm hearing the word boundaries. It's almost like the masculine side of this wants to have this, first off. But at the same time, with someone who is very aware of boundaries. And we're going to pull clarifiers to find out a little bit more about what these boundaries are. But for a base, it's kind of like, or it's stealthy. They want to kind of, I'm seeing imagery that would look like 2 lives or 3 lives. King of Air. This just flew out. That's Aquarian right there. But the King of Air also talks about being in control. And the King of Air would also be someone who, the King of Swords is somebody who would definitely have a significant amount of boundaries. On the feminine side, what are the blocks to this relationship? What are the feminine blocks in this relationship? The Knight of Fire. Knight of Rods is feeling sexual. You know, that's giving the offer of passion. And it's a block, which means that, you know, feels kind of like somebody over here got cut off. But they're so busy. I mean, the feminine side over here is looking for this cup of love. They're not trying to have the cup of passion. They want the cup of love. And they just don't know which way to go with this, being tempted. And the masculine side of this is trying to have patience with the situation, because the feminine's over here looking for love, but the masculine is over here looking for, like, respect. And there doesn't seem to be, like, an equal meeting of mind. What's the masculine blocks in this relationship? Ten of Air. Anxiety, depression, I heard overthinking. Confusion. What was the outcome? What could we look at for an outcome in this relationship? Four of Fire. Oh boy. Happy marriage. Steady foundation. Yippee skippy. Like here, and under the deck, Wheel of Fortune. Meant to be. Karma. Written in stone. But let's get some clarifiers. Why is the Two of Swords the heartbeat of this relationship for March? Keep in mind, this is for March. So this is what is happening now in March, is this decision-making energy. Because someone's disappointed. Someone is not happy with the offer they're being given. And like, okay, so here's this cup of love, right? So the feminine side's looking for the cup, and the masculine's like, all right, here's your cup. But they're like, yeah, that cup doesn't work for me. Pick a different cup, because what you got to offer as of right now is not the cup that I'm looking for. Yeah, Queen of Swords. Could be dealing with an air sign on both sides. And there's your Libra. There needs to be justice, because, and when I say justice, I mean balance. These are scales. There's scales right there. And this need for respect and need for deep emotional love needs to be balanced out. Two of Wands again. Someone needs to make a decision whether to go or whether to stay. So why is there temptation on the feminine side then? Someone's being sneaky. Well, this was in reverse. Shouldn't have flipped that over. And the reason I think that's significant, because I went like this. I took it and I flipped it. But I don't think I should have. It feels, okay, so this is the Devil card. It feels like they really think that their masculine is cheating. Like, they're like, you're up to no good. You're out doing this and that. You're not telling me. You're not disclosing everything that you're doing. And I think you're being sneaky. And this is why I feel like I just want out. But then the masculine's over here like, look, you know, I'm trying to have patience with you, but boundaries. You know, if you trust me that this is our happy home, our happy foundation, then this energy is just causing trouble. But at the same time, I don't feel like the masculine is just going to all of a sudden turn around and turn into this, you know, watery sign, you know, cup of love. I think that they're willing to offer it, you know, they are offering it. I just don't think that the feminine over here likes what they're offering, because it doesn't match, because it still feels sneaky, even though I just don't think it is. It feels more like of a sincere, like, privacy issue. It's not even an issue. I mean, if that's their truth, that's their truth. It doesn't make it an issue. It makes it what it is. But what it does is makes the feminine over here feel wildly uncomfortable. And it's more, I think, unsure. Unsure. But then I'm hearing things about, like, past experience and, you know, because of that, you know, you've got self-esteem stuff going on. And that's, I mean, I can understand. But that's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Like, Oh, I just dropped all my cards. With the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, you've got, see, this is kind of on top of this devil energy. It's almost like wishing that they would get theirs. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I mean it as in like, why can't you just see? Why can't you just see that I'm like feeling all of this over here because of your need for all of this privacy? And they're like, well, why can't you see that I just want this trust, and that should be that. If I say I'm going to be trusted, then I can be trusted, and that's just the way it is. And it's just because, I mean, it makes them, that's what I'm saying, wildly uncomfortable. I don't like this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if I can trust them. Too much. But at the same time, it's your 10 of Pentacles. I mean, it certainly belongs to you. So for some people, this is going to be like a marriage. So then why is the masculine over here with needing, or this patience? There's the 10 of Swords again. I think this is more like patience for their self. Patience for the situation. Patience and waiting for this other person to catch up with what they're trying to get across here. And I don't feel like this is bad. I just feel like it's their truth. And if you love somebody, you listen to their truth. And if their truth is, I'm just really private, then that's what you go with. And then when they feel like they're getting that, that's when you get the Cup of Love. And I feel like the masculine is over here trying to be patient about that. Because he doesn't feel like he's having victory in what he's trying to get across. Also that there's probably kids involved, so there's more of a need to be more of a it's like a willingness to be patient, to kind of work with this. And there's another kid. That's the Page of Wands. Could be a fire sign, but also with the pages, the Page of Wands talks about hearing a message. Not that somebody gave it to you, but that you heard. You know how like a lot of times you hear, oh, it's the Page of Cups, you're going to get a message of love. The Page of Rods is more like receiving, like actually having heard, if that makes sense. And so it's like, yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're looking for. I hear that you feel uncomfortable. And I'm going to have patience with that. Brilliant. So then why does the the feminine have the Ace of Cups as their wants? They're not happy. I mean, plain and simple. They want to manifest something else. I heard the spark went out. The fire, it went out. And there's the Ace of Cups again in reverse. See, they want the Ace of Cups because wasn't I just saying that? That the cup got dumped out. This cup is a want. They want it filled back up. And as a clarifier, they're not happy, and the spark went out because their cup got dumped out. So something happened, obviously. But in the month of March, or, the energy around a couple of weeks around whenever you're watching this, this is a desire here to refill the cup. But then on the masculine side, we have all this privacy thing going on. What's up with that? Cycle. Something needs to change. But I feel like okay, so the masculine is willing to work on it, obviously, with this patience. But I think there's a knowing here that this cycle needs to end. I just don't feel like this masculine energy is doing it very well. And when I say doing it very well, I mean getting their point across very well. Because I mean, the Knight of Swords destructs things. He gets the job done, that's for sure. But then here's the Page of Cups, right? So it's like you got these two cups. And he's like, yeah, I hear you. I hear that your cups are dumped out. I understand. But at the same time, I need all this privacy and blah, 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 blah. And it just like dumps the cup out again. So it's like, I heard half filling. So it's like the masculine will fill it up a little and then be like, oh, by the way, but I'm still going to do this. And then it gets dumped out again. And they'll be like, okay, but listen, I'll do this. And they fill it up again just a little. But you still have to like stay out of my business. And then it gets dumped out again. And so there's this constant like back and forth, like this Two of Swords, back and forth. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. And it doesn't feel very balanced. So why is the block over here the Knight of Rods? Because nothing is changing. They're not going to feel passionate as long as nothing is changing. If they're still living in the atmosphere to which they feel uncomfortable, they're not going to feel passionate. Without a new seed, there's no reason to. Because their cups are dumped out. That's what I'm talking about. And then here's the other energy of the sword energy coming in, kind of trying to explain this. I just need privacy energy. And it you know, the feminine doesn't like that. But with the Four of Pentacles, they're still like holding on to it because, I mean, that's what I was saying with the Ten of Pentacles. This really belongs to them. It's their marriage. It's their life or whatever, so they're going to hold on to it. They're just not happy. At least this month, you know, because of something that happened. I mean, something happened. There's too many dark black cards here. And anxiety and depression and all of this. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. Not on call tonight. Whew. What was I talking about? Dark cards. Leroy Jenkins. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm a firefighter EMS. And I forgot to turn off all my alarms, but I'm not on call, so volunteer for your local fire department. Okay. Why is the Ten of Swords the masculine block? Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I pulled out a bunch of cards. Yeah, the masculine is not interested in moving on or moving away, and they don't even want to delay. Like I don't feel like that the masculine side is interested in this Two of Swords energy, this heartbeat energy, all of these twos and decisions. They don't even want to waste time on that. They're not interested in getting in this Chariot and moving forward. They know where they're headed. But as a block, this Queen of Pentacles, this seed who holds everything, I think that's really troubling for the masculine side with this Ten of Swords here. It's troubling to them that one person holds everything because it takes away a lot of this freedom, a lot of this king energy, a lot of this I'm going to do whatever I want and nobody's going to know about it. Because when they partner up, they have to then divulge themselves. They have to become bare and exposed. And that's, I don't feel like that's a comfortable spot for the masculine side on this relationship. But you know what? He has the same block too. The Knight of Rods. It doesn't feel like I kind of feel like there might be a little bit of like sexual tension that's causing more issues. Like whatever happened before happened. And then there's been all this decision making and fighting and talking about it, but there's no like sex. And I gotta tell you, that can really lighten the mood. Just saying. So, but then, you know, because your outcome is the happy family. We got the star in reverse. That's you. That's Aquarius. But, okay. Yeah. So the decision gets made, right? This is the decision that's made. It's like someone finally has this realization that this is what does fit. And I think I spent some time talking about how this might not fit for them. Like getting on board with letting somebody, with being exposed and bare to someone doesn't really work for them. But I think there's like a realization in which they're like, oh, you know, it does. Because this is the home. I think that's important. I think that's an, you know, the 3 of Wands, that's watching the ships come in. You go from the 2 to the 3. And that indicates, you know, things coming full circle. So, you know, when you're talking about a month-long worth of energy, it just feels like something that you're going through right now. And that there needs to be a meeting of minds. And that's been common in these readings that I've done so far this month, is that I don't feel a whole lot of, you know, breakup or third-party energy, but I do feel a lot of, like, needing to heal and have a meeting of the minds. So I'd like to get some outcome cards here from the After Tarot. I read these in upright only. Whoa. So the decision, you know, all these 2s, and then you have this Page of Cups, and that's the water being dumped out. That's the offer being dumped out. And like I said, somebody does feel disappointed here. But then you have this air energy who is just slicing. And so I feel like I heard being pushy. Also the initial W. T. And K. Yeah, and I love this card because this talks about slaying the demon. And so, and this is what I was talking about over here. This feminine feels like there's sneaky behavior going on because this person doesn't want to divulge all of everything they're doing. But I think after, you know, these talks, these emotional talks are had, you know, I keep wanting to look at this fish jumping out. It's almost like the fish is the idea that something is wrong. And then in which case, you know, the demon gets slayed from that. And then there's a decision to start working on things and becoming content, but also sharing. And then you have this devil energy, but I like this devil because they end up finally coming together. And I love that. I love that because it's almost like the way this card is depicted, it's almost like tempting yourself to go ahead and love your mate. Because it's like I don't feel like anyone's going anywhere anyway. So I heard love the one you're with. But then you've got this. And this is that person getting caught. And so, and that's what I was saying before about something had happened that would make the feminine feel like there's going to be sneaky stuff again, because it already has. Like that's a past experience that they're basing their fears off of. This is fearing that it's going to happen again, and they don't want to feel like that again. But it's like the passion that the masculine has needs to be redirected. And that's what I was saying down here about having this one queen, this one person here who holds like all of their stuff. It makes them feel uncomfortable. And here it is again, this queen. But then, and this is what I'm saying, like that's the realization, like, oh, you know, they do hold my entire world in their hands. And then there becomes this equal give and take of, okay, you know, and this is right on top of these cards here. This is saying, you know, oh, okay, maybe it's not all about me having, maybe I don't need as much privacy as I think I need. And so then you dump that cup out, right? And so this was the initial cup up here, this offer of like, look, this is how I'm willing to be with you, but this is how it's going to be. And now you're like, okay, I changed my mind. We won't do things that way. We'll have a happy home. No more delay. I love this Hanged Man card because it talks about someone coming to, two people coming together. One to aid and one to realize. And then everyone finally coming in and out of the cold. Or for some people on the other end of the spectrum, you know, with these love readings, I typically tend to be relatively positive and just kind of try to be real, like this is who they are and this is who they are. But for some people, this is going to be, you know, they got caught and you're not willing to deal with it anymore. And then you have this over here and the feminine is hooking up with a different knight. You know, it could go that way because there's being content. There's slaying this demon of fear and then being content. But this is a single person. So it's like if your cup isn't ever going to fill up on this side, get it from somewhere else. But then that leaves somebody else feeling left out in the cold. But with all of these fours, it could also be, it's more like this feeling of being left out and this cup being dumped out. This is the feeling that you get from this feminine not accepting the masculine's need for privacy. In which case they turn around and they're like, okay, well, let's readjust. Let's work on this balance. And then you move to the happy home state, which is always good. Let's get some advice from the fairies, please, for Aquarius. On the feminine side, there's going to be advice from the fairies is to have a self-discovery. And that's, you know, mirroring this. Transform. This is another kind of self-discovery. Also the death card. Onward and upward. But this also talks about, this is the receptive principle. That's talking about listening as well as giving. But on the masculine side, you have discernment. That, I mean, that talks about making good choices. I mean, don't get caught up in this energy. But with the right motivation, you can have whatever it is that you're looking for. Just don't get into serious mischief. I pull this card for the masculine so much. So much. One final advice card, please, for the month of March for the Aquarian relationship. natural law, life force. That talks about going with the flow of nature. It talks about cycles in time and, you know, doing the right thing and without like a greater force coming in and changing things naturally. But I think in the long run here, this month is a month of choices for Aquarius. Okay? You can find me on Facebook, DharmaJane8. You can email me, dharmajane8@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram, dharmajane.8. Have a good one.